Today we're going to help give some tips so that your dog doesn't dig up your backyard or garden. Hi, I'm Tara Fisher. Welcome to Kong Classroom. So the reason why dogs dig, one reason is because instinctively they do this as a natural behavior. Oftentimes us humans accidentally, inadvertently reinforce the behavior, meaning that if the dog's in the presence of digging outside in your yard and you go, hey, knock it off, don't do that, then the dog gets reinforcement for doing that. So it's like saying, hey, great job, keep digging. Although we may not think that, that's exactly what the dog does. And you can ask yourself, is that true? If the dog is still doing it, then obviously it's working for the dog, and we are also a critical part of that. So it's not just the dog, it's also our behavior as well and the role of digging. Some other things to consider might be what's in your yard. So sometimes there can be critters such as moles that travel around underground, and the dogs can scent that and start to dig to try to find those. So noting that, but really it's just a genetic instinctive behavior that most dogs find fun. There are also times that if your dog is bored and they don't have their daily needs met for critical enrichment, such as physical exercise, mental enrichment, and chew outlets, then they can also start to do other destructive behaviors to displace that pent-up energy inside of themselves onto something like digging. One of the ways that we can help prevent digging in the backyard, you can go outside with your dog in the backyard and do fun games. You can play fetch, you can do training, so that the dog goes out there and gets a lot of muscle memory doing something other than digging. So we're gonna replace it with another behavior that they find fun and engaging. I would recommend doing that, and I would also recommend getting a special toy that your dog only plays with in the backyard, so it retains that high value and its association with the backyard, so that when they're out there, that's the only time they get to play with it. So it retains that value, so they're gonna wanna play with it. Another thing that you can do is the source or the area in which they're digging, you can use management equipment. And oftentimes, this is my first thing that I do because it's really simple. If the dog is digging around a tree or near a tree, or anywhere in the yard, you can get some temporary fencing, or even if you have an X-Pen or baby gates, you can borrow them, and you put them up and around a perimeter, and you want to have that about 3 feet out from where the dig spot is, and then you do nothing. And because they don't have access to that particular location, and you've plugged in these other things as far as playing with the dog and giving them other things to do in the backyard, then they're going to find that more fun than the digging. And so that behavior will not continue to be reinforced. One last thing that you want to think about that can be helpful is the time that they spend outside. We don't want to have them out there unsupervised, so it's very helpful to just, while we're in training, it's not forever, just let them out, let them do their business, and bring them right back in. That way they don't have opportunities to do the wrong behavior, and we can help them while we're training the behaviors that we want. I'm Tara Fisher. Thanks for joining us in Kong Classroom.